Ow! My water is like really hot, which is awesome, but it burns me sometimes. Oh, get my other camera going so you guys could see overhead. All right. So, what is Urban Homestead Tacompton? Um, Growing up poor and in foster homes, where the camera was here and not here where the computer is, because that's where you can see. Um, Growing up poor and in foster homes, it was usually kind of a situation where I was not getting fed properly. Um, I, I'm actually like really resentful about it because when I got my DNA test done, it said that I was supposed to be above average in height, and my family is actually tall, and I'm like the short one in the family in the rent. Um, so it's like upsetting um, that I was supposed to be taller. Um, but I grew up like malnourished, and when I was a kid, uh, me and the neighborhood kids would like take this like journey across town to go to it was like a good like 20-minute walk across town to go to the house of these like Asian people where we would like steal a couple of their tomatoes and then like chase us off and it was just like I mean those tomatoes were like the best thing. Like this was in South Seattle, kind of like ghetto area. Um and those tomatoes I don't know how to do this like slap thing, like trying to stretch it by hand. Um um and so I even though we're like little brats stealing their tomatoes, I always have to like give them credit because the fact that they were like they had like a pretty good garden going in just like a rundown ghetto area and stuff was what inspired me to always like um just like nag people to do gardening and stuff and get into it myself. Um So I grew up really like food insecure. A lot of the foster parents like they would like lock up the kitchen cabinets and like the food it was like, you mostly relied on like the food at school. And then I didn't want to eat when I was at school because they would like embarrass me about it. Like the lunch lady would make me like yell out free lunch when I was going when I got to her in line so that she could get out her like free lunch binder thing and mark me off. And so I started um, like hiding at lunchtime and not eating. Um, and so for me, gardening wasn't like, oh, this is some cool trending hobby. Like gardening was something that I have thought about from a young age because I was always like scared that I wasn't gonna have food. Um, so um, in around what year was that? Like 2013, 2014. I was staying with this trans woman, Auntie Deru, who saved me kind of like after all of the situation with me. Oh, I wasn't going to talk about the army and politics and stuff in this channel. Well, I mean, I guess it is what it is. So she saved me after the stuff with like the army saying that I was like a black male risk and my life was like downward spiral and and she was the one who like for the first time like invested in my interest in gardening and like bought like the dirt and the boards for me to build some planter boxes and some plants and stuff for me to get started. So that was really cool. And then I moved into the Nova apartments in Seattle and they like lied to me and said that they were gonna let us have like a urban garden kind of thing on the roof to like get me to well me and the guy that I was with at the time and his aunt had to like sign for it because my credit was all messed up. Um anyway, so I didn't get to have a garden there and I was like really bummed out. And then the next place I was living in like these people's basement and they wouldn't let me garden. And then finally I like my old foster mother had introduced me to a guy who lived in this neighborhood and he told me that there was a place open. So I like lived off of um like nothing but like that what's it called? Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. I had lived off of nothing but like frozen peas and carrots with some sriracha on it. I did that for like a month to save up so that I could move. Um and that guy that I the basement he stole $3,750 from me because of my credit. He made me pay up front 6 months at a time in advance. And so I had just paid him the 6 months rent and he told me that I couldn't have it back when I told him that I found a place that was like a small house with a yard. Started to just like take the hit on that. I mean, it was like, oh, do you want to go to court? Like, kind of, you challenged me and stuff, and I was just like, whatever. Like, you're gonna burn in hell, piece of shit. So, um, and I was just like so happy to be gone out of there and to finally have a place with a little yard. So, um, in 2014, I moved into the place 2 houses down from here, and immediately it was like build garden beds and start growing food. And so that was when I started calling my garden Urban Homestead Tacompton. And I've posted a lot about Urban Homestead Tacompton on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. But I was just always like too nervous to make videos. Uh I don't make these all the time, so I'm not like awesome at it. I want to make sure I don't overcook it. Um, so what kind of like triggered me to start making videos was to start thinking about it was like Meghan Markle did this podcast with Serena Williams. Yeah. So I was like almost saying Venus Williams, but anyway, Serena Williams, where she I'll wash my hands again, said that they were like talking about like Compton is a ghetto and it's racist to call it that, da, 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 da. So she had my urban homestead to Compton hashtag like taken down off of Facebook. And so like I used to be able to like just type it in the search and it would like show all of my gardening content. And I think that like part of the reason that she did that was so that she could hide the fact that she like rips me off all the time. Good. Um, and it's terrible because like after growing up in like foster homes and all the violence of my mother's boyfriend, and just like being in the army and going to war and all this stuff, it's like she tells people that I deserve it. She tells people that I deserve it because I'm white, and so that means that I'm privileged. Where I come from, there's fighting words. Like come say that it to my face. With your Disneyland bedroom and all that when you were growing up. Anyway, like it's just it's petty, it's horrible. So I can't find a lot of my pictures and stuff on Facebook anymore from my like decade of posting about my gardening and my like DIY projects at home and stuff like that. Um, but I thought like, oh, a lot of people have gardening videos, so like, why would anybody care about mine? Like, it's not that special. I'm not doing anything like, I kind of suck at it actually. um, and so I didn't think like that I would start a YouTube channel, but then I discovered the cracking method for growing plants and then I kind of like, watching videos. I don't know if I'll be able to like look back in my history and find it because normally I do really try to give people credit. But I searched to see if anybody had like planted out seedlings into dirt of like starts that they had done with the cracking method. And I only found it was like one or two videos that didn't really show like if it worked or whatever, it just showed the people like doing it. Um, like planting them out for the first time. And so I was like, God, I suck at this. Nobody teach me how to like, how do you like, it's not working, it's not doing anything. I'm just gonna drop it. I don't know what I'm doing with this. Bread. Normally I would like roll them out with like flour on here, but I just felt like doing this like the most lazy way today. That's the mood I'm in. So, so because I was like doing something that I hadn't really seen a lot of videos of, and also like my sister's family, I just got them a bunch of stuff to start doing the cracky method, and so I thought like I'll make a video so that they can see exactly what I do, and then I might as well just start a channel. So Urban Homestead Tacompton, um, which you get ripped off by like celebrities and the media and stuff like that all the time. So I think that like a lot of the urban homestead movement was inspired by me and people didn't give me credit as usual, which really sucks. Uh, but the whole thing was about like my dad's been chronically homeless. My uncle before he died homeless, was chronically homeless. And I also while I was living with Andy when she helped me to kind of get started with gardening. I was the person that like really like nagged Seattle to start the urban food forest. So that was another thing that just like it just got hijacked by richer people than me who thought like because I have the money to do this, I'm taking the credit for it kind of thing. Um, so Urban Homestead to Compton is just about making food more accessible. Um, you can't really I had a math teacher in college who he would always talk about like his fear of relying on like specific crops. Like he said that one of his things was like we only grow like five types of wheat predominantly, and those five types of wheat supply everyone. And so if one of the five suddenly has some kind of blight, some kind of like genetic issue come up where it's just not going to grow anymore, then that's a fifth of the world's food supply of wheat that gets like wiped out. And so it's about taking urban spaces and growing food to rely on if something happens with the big food system, you know, um, so that we're just like not totally screwed over. Um, and there is just like so much that can go wrong. Like when I say that I suck at gardening, like it's taken me 10 years to get to the point where I'm like finally getting good at like starting my own seedlings and stuff like that. Oops, I was talking too much and kind of overcooked this down. Um, okay, I'm making eight, so you need plenty for just me. Um, and I just wanted to like inspire more people to garden. Um, it's not like a business or anything like that. It's just like trying to get people who just like don't have a lot of space to do what they can to help supplement their own food. Um, and you can grow all these like additional varieties of foods and you can save the seeds and there's so much abundance in the world. Like every plant that you grow, these tomatoes have like, 1,000 seeds in them, and each one of them is a new tomato plant with hundreds of thousands of seeds. And it's like, why are people starving? It's not necessary. We shouldn't be starving. Um, so I probably have more to say about Urban Homestead Tacompton and why I call it that and why I started. Uh, but so that this video doesn't get like too ridiculously long, I'm just gonna like start like cut in and out of different things I'm doing while I'm making these tacos. So, I'm gonna shut up now. You guys, I totally left out like a big part of my gardening inspiration story. Oh my gosh. So when I was living in that same area where like me and my friends would trek across town to go to the Asian family's house, um I had I had friends like who were Black and Samoan and Asian and from India and stuff. And I had all these friends that were like different races. But the trek on the way from the school to my apartment was like this street where all these kids were like really indoctrinated to hate my guts for being white. And so when I would walk home after school, it was like going through a gauntlet where they would like throw rocks at me and like rip at my hair and shove me to the ground and crash their bikes into me and like there were some mean ass little kids. And my mom, she tried to go out and confront the parents one day. And she was like, I'm gonna go talk to their parents. And I was like, no, like mom, they'll kill you. And so she went out, she was all mad and started walking out, and all the parents were up on the porches and stuff, and they came all walking out like, you know, oh my God. And I was just like, no, mom, like screaming. I was terrified because I was like, they're all about to jump my mom and she's gonna die, like right now in front of me. I'm getting emotional. So anyway, I finally like got my mom to like turn around and run home. Um, and the kids kept like picking on me and stuff. And one of this this older Black woman that lived in the neighborhood, she she had this like corner, like beautiful Victorian house. It was like all the other houses around were like really slummy, but hers was like one of the old original houses that like rich people built in that area. Um and so she started like when she knew that school was getting out, she would sit on her porch and like scared like yell at the kids and tell them to leave me alone. Um And so she started inviting me over to her place because like I must have brought up like the tomatoes or something and like saw that her because she had like a not like a food garden but like lots of flowers and stuff like that. And so she started like inviting me over to help her out with her gardening. Um so like her and the Asian family that we were stealing from and and then also my aunt I like kind of briefly like stay with her like sometimes in summer and like she had a place like out it was on like Lost Mountain um and like she had a pretty decent garden and so like I would help her out with gardening and stuff too. So those are like my three big influences to get into gardening. Alright, so for this part of the video, I wanted to talk about Native American influence on my cooking, and just experiences in my life. But first, before I get to that, I just want to warn you guys that like I only have a couple of knives, and this is the level of poverty that I'm at. Like, I think I got this one at Dollar Tree. I think I probably got all of these at Dollar Tree. Yeah, this is just such a good knife for like things like tomatoes because it's really like thin and sharp. So the half the handle broke off, but it still works. So you know. Anyway, I need to get a new knife set. I need to get new pots and pans because I've got like Teflon flaking off of my pots and pans. But I keep like prioritizing gardening because I'm like scared of not having food. So I keep spending my money on that. Having a little corona. So I keep spending my money on that, and you know my coping mechanism. I've been like you know I try only to like drink on the weekends. Because I don't want to get into like too bad of a habit with that. Anyways, so my first foster home when I was a kid. Oops, I already used that one. I just like tossed right here. It's probably okay. Okay, so my first foster home when I was a little kid was with a Native American family on the Lower Elwha Reservation out in Port Angeles. The woman's name was Margie. They had a fireworks stand. And it was an interesting experience. I mean, in some ways they were really nice. Like they called me they said that I was an Indian princess, and they told me that I had ancestors that were Native American, which I think like they probably heard that from my dad's side of the family. And So they said that, like, you know, I had noble blood and all this stuff. The adults, some of the adults, and, but the kids, they had already, like, learned at that point to hate me for being a white person. So they wanted absolutely nothing to do with me, and anytime that I would try to, I'm not good at chopping stuff either. Like, if anybody wants to, like, give me cooking lessons, you know, help me out. I'm always willing to learn. Anyways, so the kids would, like, shove me and be like, "Go away, white devil," and so my first friends when I was a little kid were the cows that the foster family owned. And so I would spend all my time, like, with the cows. Like, I would make them daisy chains, because, like, one of the adults had taught me how to do that. I would make them daisy chains to, like, decorate them with, and I would just, like, you know, just jump around with the little babies and eat grass with them and stuff. But not everything was great with that family. Like, one time somebody gave me a fake candy cigarette, and to teach me that, like, smoking was not cool, when they, like, caught me, like, out pretending to smoke with my fake candy cigarette, they made me smoke a whole cigarette, and I was like, I started throwing up, and they still, like, made me keep smoking it anyways until it was totally gone. And then another thing they did was because this was, like, the one foster home that I was in with my brother, they had paddles made, like spanking paddles with our names on them, and had them hung on the wall. It was like a little partition between the living room and the kitchen area. And so I don't know, it was a weird experience, because, like, you know, they told me that, like, my spirit was in the forest and all this stuff. And maybe, like, another thing that they did actually was like piercing my ears with a needle that had just been, like, burned in a lighter. Some of the foster parents I went to were so sketchy, you guys. But I think, like, they were kind of like that with their own kids too, so it wasn't, like, I don't know, in a way I kind of felt like they were taking it out on me because I was white. They were like, "Oh, we got a hold of a white girl, let's torture her," you know, kind of thing. Yeah, a little bit. But also, like, you know, I actually, because, like, I was with Tyler, my boyfriend, that died, and we came up here to Washington. His mom was, like, really involved with, like, the Native Americans in Nevada, and she was kind of, like, mean to me. Like, we went out hiking one day out in the desert, and this eagle feather just out of nowhere, like, we were walking, and it just, like right in the ground in front of me. And so I was like, whoa, and I just went to, like, pick it up to look at it. And she started screaming at me. She's like, "Don't touch it!" And you know, I was like, whoa, like, you know, because to me, like, that was a spiritual sign, you know, like, in addition to living on the res, I also had a Native American boyfriend for a couple of years, and so, you know, his dad had given me, like, Robbie Robertson tape and stuff, and you know, I feel like I kind of, like, bonded with, like, the spirituality and everything. Anyway, do not touch it! And she was like, just talk to me like I was just filthy. Like, I was just the most disgusting thing to even think that, you know. And she was like, that's illegal. And it's illegal for me to take the feather, but, like, she didn't have to scream at me about it. Like, goddamn. You know, she could have just, like, calmly said, like, like, you know, like, you're not supposed to touch those, white girl. You know, and I'd be like, okay, you know, like, okay. Oh, So yeah, I lived with them, and I had a Native American boyfriend, and so it got me like interested a lot in like Native spirituality and culture, and I had some influence of their cooking, like they would make fry bread and stuff like that. But also, put a little bit of salt in here. But also just like I noticed with my cooking style that like a lot of countries have all of these foods that are like their national comfort foods and stuff, but those ingredients that they're using didn't even exist until Europeans started coming over here to America and started like, you know, spreading those things all over the world. So something that I realized, and I'm gonna confess something like really sick right now, but I didn't know my mom's dad growing up, and finally got in contact with him, and he was like, oh yeah, your family, like his side of the family had come across, they were like one of the first families to arrive in California, and so he said that their last name was Applegate, and so the Applegate Trail was named after them. And he told me that his great grandmother was still around when he was a little kid, and she was with them when they made that trek across what became the Applegate Trail. And she told me that they had run out of food, and that the men decided to start hunting Native Americans like they were animals, because they were like an easy target. They were like sitting prey, and basically that like they had told her when she didn't want to eat them that if you aren't one of us, then you're one of them, and you'll be the one that's eaten. And so she had to participate in cannibalism when she was a little kid, kind of across country. That's on my mom's dad's side of the family. On my dad's side of the family, or not my dad's side of the family, my dad's mom's side of the family, my grandmother's mother was half Native. I've done a lot of family tree research, but I haven't confirmed that. Like actually like seen a document or anything that says that she was Native American. I believe it. Like I don't know where they would make that up. And she was kind of like not really like involved with the family very much, and so like I never got to know her. So like I have a complicated background with this. Also like I'm gonna, on my other channel, Empress Kadesh, I am going to post about my family tree, and what I have found, which is interesting, kind of, is that my family were like on my mom's side, they were like some of the original Jamestown pilgrims, and so there are connections to the Powhatans and the Algonquin tribe, which I think like some of the stories that the European men told um, about all of that kind of stuff weren't 100% true. And so, like, you know, they did rape Native American women, and there were children that were born with that, but they never, like, claimed those children. So I think, like, in that way, I have Native American ancestry. According to my, like, family tree and my DNA test, I actually have ancestry from all over the world. And I might even have ancestors who were African slaves here in America. Because on my brother's DNA test, it shows him as 2% West African. And if you're 2%, then that's like 5-6 generations ago, which would have been around the time of slavery. And my family has actually been here like since the beginning of Europeans colonizing this country. So I mean, there's a lot of different paths, and it's really complicated. And like, you know, technically, I have to say that I'm white because, you know, if I try to say that I was that I was mixed or something like that, then people would like accuse me of like trying to get some kind of like DEI benefits or something that I shouldn't get. So colonization. I believe that a lot of the recipes that we know of and think of as like belonging to other cultures were actually Native American recipes. And that the colonizers basically, as they were killing off the natives, stole credit for their recipes. This seems to be like a theme that's going on with my channels. I'm trying not to. I didn't want to talk about a bunch of politics and stuff. In the future, I won't. This is just like an intro video talking about like why my garden is named what it is. So when I say that a lot of my cooking is inspired by Native American cuisine, I am also including a lot of stuff that I think that Native Americans were probably also making, and that their recipes were stolen from them. The show, but I guess the taco will probably be pretty low because I didn't have taco beef. Uh-oh, I didn't start this one. Oh yeah. The issues that I have had recording today, like forgetting to start the camera and stuff. Oh my gosh. This is, I knew it was going to be difficult, but it's even more difficult than I thought. So there's this stuff. Ugh. I didn't even warm this up yet either. I'm so impatient. I just want to eat. Here. Advise if you're gonna make tacos with Impossible beef that you go ahead and get the one that's pre-seasoned. It's it costs a little bit more and it comes with less, but it's worth it because like kind of difficult with the other beef to like work in the seasoning, the other imitation and impossible beef. It's more you don't get as much of the flavor, so like you'll get like chunks that just taste like kind of I don't know, it's like a raw steak flavor. This it's not horrible, but it just doesn't taste like taco meat. So this is something that I'm proud of actually, you guys, as a poor person. When that black plastic band or like you gotta throw away all your black utensils thing went out in the news. I was like, I don't know what to tell y'all, but I'm too poor to be throwing away all my utensils and buying new ones. Like, maybe a couple of months from now, I'll be able to like replace all my utensils. And especially this one. Like, I got this at Dollar Tree and yo, this is like my best spatula. So I was like, I don't want to throw this away. Um, because I do like bread and pancakes and all kinds of stuff with this. So I was so happy when the news came out that I didn't have to throw away my spatula. I felt like it was like one of those Highlander, like there can be only one. You know, it was like the last remaining spatula. Oh man, yeah. I was like, I was too poor for this shit. Uh, get this going. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry now. I say that, but then like I'm gonna be like hella stuffed after like half of these tacos because the bread is so thick. I tried to make it pretty thin. Um, oh, bread. Yeah, it's just me eating. I don't need like huge taco. Um, taco beef. And I have to like try not to overload it. That's the problem that I always have. Putting too much stuff. Taco. Oh, there you go. I'm trying to go back from earlier. Yeah, what do we got? Some cheese. Oh, shoot. This is a really bad thing. A really bad thing. I didn't salt the bread. So, we're kind of do that real quick before it, because there was like no salt in my bread recipe, so I don't want it to be too bland. Okay. Okay. Um, um, Andro. And, okay. wish I could remember any of the Spanish that I learned in my college Spanish classes. Yeah. That was crazy because when I took the placement test, I scored in like fourth year Spanish and because like a lot of people don't believe me about PTK, but the voices in my head were like messing with me while I was taking the test and telling me all the answers to the questions. The people using synthetic telepathy on me. And so I was like, kind of like, let me try this because I don't even know the alphabet in Spanish, like let me see what if I get any of these answers right. And I scored in like fourth year Spanish. So so I had to like write to the school and be like, whoa, 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 like, and I actually told them what happened with like the V2K and everything, and I don't know if they believe me or not. I think that University of Washington is involved in it actually. uh, so yeah, I placed in fourth year Spanish, and honestly, that was a problem. I took 2 quarters or semesters or whatever they are of Spanish. Yeah, I still don't know the fucking alphabet. Like, and my gosh, Spanish, the pace is like so fast, and they don't give you enough time to like memorize anything. They're like, all right, you have 24 hours to learn this topic, and then 24 hours to learn this topic, and it's just like I did really well at like memorizing things short term, but as soon as like I was out of the class, it was just like all gone, missing information. So yeah. Ah, what a messy taco. I'm sure all of you know I didn't make this video like, I don't think you guys know how to make tacos or fry bread. I just really wanted to like yap about Urban Homestead Tacompton and all of my history and stuff. So Will's making tacos. Okay. Let's see. Yay! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys. You guys. I don't know if the part was missing earlier where I did this, but basically you like chop up the onions and put like a little sprinkle of salt and kind of just let it sit in the vegan yogurt to um to absorb the flavor of the onions. And it's kind of like a good vegan sour cream replacement. Okay. Then I need some you move it here and there. Lula, chili lime. Oh, finally. Really quick because I got all this. Ow. Obviously. This one. Oh my God. How do you even fit this in my mouth? Like, wrap that like sticky booty in there, like just took it up in there so I could pitch it in the back. Okay. Yeah. Mm. 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 Really good. Mm. This is exactly what I wanted. Like, oh, holy crap, it's so good. Mm. 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 I saw this like debate over like what a real taco is. I don't know what it is, but I like all of them. I eat meat. I like vegan tacos. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh, food coming after this. Definitely like this combination. The meant radishes. I couldn't remember the word radishes. The radishes, the jalapeno peppers, the chili pepper, and onion, apple cider vinegar, and like, mm, I feel like I should set it down and like go sit down and eat. But I think it'll hold up. Mm. It's so good though that I don't want to stop eating it. Mm. Don't go anywhere. Mm. Let's Navajo tacos and the story of mm, Urban Homestead Tacompton. I do actually have table manners. Like I know how to do that stuff, but I'm just like, this isn't tacos. This is the time and place for that. You know? There is a time and a place, and this is not one. All right. So if you watch my video, thanks a lot. Um, I feel like a lot of people really misunderstand me as a person. And so, a lot of what is driving me to start doing this is so that people can see who I am because there's just like so many misconceptions and it makes me like really depressed and um, at least this way, if people don't want to be ignorant about me, then you know they can see. what do I have to say? I don't know. Um, and thank you to the natives of this country and South America, this whole land, um, for all of the cuisine that you have contributed to the entire globe. Um, and thank you for your influence, your spiritual influence on my life. And even though those kids shoved me and told me like that I was a white devil and stuff when I was a kid, I feel like I needed to have the experience of going out and being friends with the cows and and bonding with nature and finding that my family is the whole earth. Um, not just humans, not just the people that kick me out, but I wake up every morning and these birds out here are super excited to see me. Like they wake up first thing in the morning and they come and hang out outside my house, like waiting for me to come out. Like that's their morning ritual before they go fly off somewhere else to eat and stuff. They come and they want to see me and say hello in the morning. And so um it was a tough introduction to Native American culture, but it 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 taught me to have good values. I feel it was what I needed. Uh, so thank you for the tough lessons as well. Yeah, and hopefully you don't think that I'm like doing Urban Homestead Tacompton to be racist or whatever, like Megan and her people said, because it has nothing to do with that at all. Um, it sounds a little bit crass, but I feel like as somebody as poor as I am, that like when I do crass things, it's kind of like a protest and not like snide and from a position of privilege and stuff. So I think that saying what I just said would probably make sense to poor people and maybe not rich people because they haven't had the experiences that we have. Anyway, that's the video, Navajo tacos. I'm gonna go finish this and try not to fall asleep before I get put away. All right, take care out there, you guys.